All right, first question is, who is excited to start back to school?
Me!
All right, so in this video, we plan to go over what curriculum we plan to use, which is the good and the beautiful. All right, we decided to school all year round this year, and so far we've enjoyed that journey. So we have been able to take multiple breaks throughout the year versus having one big chunk off during summertime. And we live in Florida, and it's just too daggum hot to be taking off that much at this time of year. So we figured we'd utilize our time, and we're gonna be inside anyway during the middle of the day, so we figured we would start with school. And it all worked out because I found out I was pregnant in the middle of the year, so baby is due in September, so we'll get us a little head start, and we'll take us a little bit more time off when baby arrives. All right, first off, I wanna show you what lesson planner I use. I found this maybe 4 years ago, and I've used it every year. I just order me a new one as each year begins. What I like the most about it is the beginning, and you get a class and curriculum overview. So here is where I'll write, language arts, science, math, and I write down what curriculum we use, what additives we might use, how much I paid for those, just to keep track of everything over the years. It also helps for our end of the year evaluation. It has a spot for us to keep track of our book list, so any of the books that we're reading throughout the year, I can just track them here. And the page that probably gets used the most, this is our curriculum progress. So we write down each subject here, and we are able to track what days we've done, so it's nice to get a visual, especially for the kids. They get a visual of how much they have completed and how much they have left to do. There's a part that gives you the full page for the full month. So if you like to categorize your stuff that way. And then it starts off with your weekly schedule. So you have your weekly goals and notes and what you plan to do this week. I use this in case I need any extra supplies I need to buy, and I need to know ahead of time. And then it goes right into your weekly layout. So you can find this on my Amazon storefront. I'll link that below. That being said, let's jump right into this. We're gonna start with the first box. So I've had these boxes since March, and I've yet to open them because that was when the Good and the Beautiful had their sale. I think it was 25 or 30% off. So I went ahead and bought what I knew I was gonna need, and we're just now looking it over. While we're getting this out of the box, I feel like I need to add that this is not our first year doing the Good and the Beautiful. This will be, I believe, our 4th year utilizing the Good and the Beautiful curriculum, and we've enjoyed it, obviously. Otherwise, we wouldn't keep coming back to it. So in this first box, I've got all my kids around me, so everybody's anxious to see whose is what. So this looks like a whiteboard for a math box, if I'm not mistaken. And it sure is. So we've got the curriculum for math for 1st grade, and they come with a wooden math box. I'm not sure, but I feel like I read somewhere that they're discontinuing these boxes, which is sad because we've enjoyed having them. My oldest daughter has completed 5th grade math, so we've had the boxes all the way leading up to that level. It slides off, and you have all your supplies that you need to complete the math lessons. And then the front is equipped with a little clock. This is the reading booster cards, B. So she completed A when she was when she did the kindergarten curriculum last year.
My dad, Mama.
So this is actually the booster card that comes for level 1. What I showed you before was the reading books. So this is the booster cards that you'll complete with each lesson, and this goes over your phonics concepts. This is the handwriting book that comes with level 1.
No.
Okay, now that I got everything out of the boxes, we're gonna kind of go over it in a little bit more organized manner. So I have my daughter's whole 1st grade level 1 curriculum right here. So to go along with the math box, you are gonna have your math workbook. So it basically seems like the same type of setup that we're used to. You start off with your lesson, and you do like a little practice, kind of get your brain warmed up, and then you go right into your lesson that you will teach, and then they'll have their review and independent practice after that. To go along with both the booster cards and the booster reading books, you are gonna have your Language Arts Level 1 book. It's actually a pretty thick book. So in here, same thing. I feel like this is kind of the same setup that we're used to. And so you just start with your lesson. You have instructions for you to follow as you teach your child, and then they have their work, and then also independent practice to complete. Also chose to add on the handwriting for the Level 1. So that daughter of mine will be 6 here soon, and she's already on Level 1. We have already completed, she did the pre-K. I'm not sure what the proper name for it. I think it was kindergarten prep. She did kindergarten prep. She completed the kindergarten curriculum, and now she's on to Level 1. So with that being said, my son, who is 4, he is gonna be doing kindergarten this year. So he got the kindergarten math workbook and also the language arts workbook. So I only got these 2 books for him because I still have the Booster A cards and reading books from my daughter from just last year, which I say last year, it was just a couple weeks ago that we completed our curriculum. So I'm able to save money and reuse those things that will still apply to this curriculum. Okay, so I also have a daughter, she'll be 10 soon. She is on both levels 5 and 6. She's an amazing reader, but when we had started with master books, and then I just felt like it needed to be a little bit more, and that's how we stumbled across The Good and the Beautiful. And tested her out with The Good and the Beautiful, which I think is a great resource that they offer on their website. She was on a level higher than what her age would put her at for math. So everything, at that time, she would have done a Level 1 math, and when I tested her in Level 1, it was things that she's already mastered. While I felt like master books was way below her level, I figured Good and the Beautiful was not really meeting it either, so we bumped her up a level. So she's done great ever since. So this year she'll be on Level 6 for math and Level 5 for reading. Something I felt like she has always been an awesome reader, and she's never struggled with anything that involved reading, but I also felt like that was one of those things I'm like, I don't want to miss out on any type of phonics concepts, so I just kept her with the grade level that she would have been going alongside of her age. Here we have The Good and Beautiful Math 6, and I noticed that this year, or with this level, I don't know if it's just this level or if it's something they changed across the board, is that their 1 workbook is now into 2 workbooks. So it's making it, to me, I don't know if this is the reasoning why, but it's now 2 thinner books. I feel like it's just gonna be easier to keep up with. The one, I mean, you can imagine this being 1 solid book. It was just too thick, it was too big, and difficult to manage when you're trying to work in it. So that part I'm excited about. So if I'm not able to be right next to her and I'm working with the littles, there's a QR code that you can scan, and it will bring up a video via the Good and the Beautiful app, and that will teach her the lesson. So, and if not, if you don't want to do the video lesson, there is still a short lesson that you can go over and still teach them as well. So we kind of flip-flop back and forth with what we do, because I want to make sure that I know what she's also doing so I can keep up for myself. I will say, if there's any downfalls to The Good and the Beautiful math, I feel like, and as I'm looking it over, it still seems to be the same. It's kind of a lot. So you have your actual lesson and the new concepts that you will learn, and then you go on to complete problems that go along with the new lesson, and then you have a practice, so several problems with practice and a review. It's a lot of problems. So I know people have had things to say about their illustration. I do feel like a lot of it is nice, it's eye-appealing. I think it makes it more interesting and sometimes a little bit more fun and engaging. But there are times that we run into a problem that, like, the print might be darker, harder to see with writing up with pencil. Sometimes there's more of like a picture rather than just giving us like more room to write the answer in. But other than that, we still love the curriculum overall. So that comes with an answer key for parents. You will need this. And this is the language arts workbook for level 5, pretty thick. Same thing. It shows where like the parent is needed, and they have their own independent work to complete as well. This is kind of new. This has a book set, so it came in a box. So let's look at this. This is the whole book set that comes with level 5 language arts, 4 chapter books that come along with that. Oh wow, my daughter's gonna be excited about this. This is a watercolor around the world. They incorporated it's pastels. They incorporated pastels last year a lot with language arts. That is something that I definitely like to mention when I recommend The Good and the Beautiful as a curriculum. You're not just getting language arts. Language arts includes a lot of geography. It includes a lot of art. So you're getting a lot of subjects wrapped into one. So to me, that's a big plus. So this one is watercolor around the world. So that's, I guess it's template projects it says. So I guess we'll see about that. And then just like I mentioned, so it does mention a lot of geography throughout language arts. So this is geography and grammar cards. This is for levels 5 through 7. So I guess I can reuse these again. This is new. I haven't had to do any of these before. So this will be a learning process for both of us. We'll see what all that entails. We got some more science this year. We did not purchase any science last year. We did our own thing, and we all thoroughly enjoyed doing our own thing. But I wanted to incorporate some, especially since The Good and the Beautiful was having a sale. So I'm excited for what we're about to add this year. One of those is gonna be science based off the human body and health. So this is something that my daughter has requested. My oldest daughter, who like I said will be 10. So we're excited about that. Reasons why I love The Good and Beautiful, they just map out everything so well. In the beginning, it gives everything a layout, what they expect from you throughout the year. They give you a whole supplies list, so you're not flipping the pages to a new lesson and are like, oh darn, I don't have this at the house. So you know right there, all on one page, what you need. Super clean and nice looking pages, all laid out well. And it comes with a student journal geared towards 3 to 6, levels 3 to 6. I believe they have one that's for 7th through 8th, I believe. So while this would be geared more towards my 10-year-old, I do plan to complete a lot of the lessons with all of my kids. That's one big thing about science. We try to make that a whole family thing. She would just then have the more extended work to do. So just like this, for example, this will be explaining the digestive tract. So I just feel like this will be something that I can go over with all my kids. It'll be something I will just reiterate over the years, and they can hopefully pick up on some of the things that they've already learned. And then they have science experiments to use, and of course every kid wants to do that, be hands-on. So that's one of the sciences we plan to incorporate. Now this next science is something we already incorporate every day of our lives, but I thought it would be really neat to go and dive a little bit deeper. So we got a book on botany, which is study of plants. So I was super excited that The Good and Beautiful offered that. So just real nice images that they have printed out, breaks everything down so we can just go a little bit further with knowing what we deal with every day. And then with that, I also got the student journal, which once again is geared towards levels 3 through 6. And like I said, that'll be more for my oldest daughter, but I'm gonna incorporate this curriculum with all my kids. Then, just for my littles, because I also have a 2-year-old, I've got the little hearts and hands that The Good and Beautiful offers. So we are doing fields and flowers, and this is the parent guide. Once again, gives you any supplies that you might need and tells you how to go about that certain lesson. And this is the actual book for the kids. It's story-based, so I feel like that would just be more engaging for them. So we're excited about that. And then we also got the little hearts and hands for space, sparks and stars. So this is the parent guide, and you have the big book. Also, super nice illustrations. So that is everything new that we have purchased from the Good and Beautiful that we plan to use this year. Like I said, I still have other things that were left over from my older kids that will be passed down to my younger kids that were also included in the Good and the Beautiful curriculum. Something else that we use and we incorporate is history, because if you noticed, I did not purchase any type of history from the Good and the Beautiful. They were updating it last year or the year before, and so I was waiting for them to do their full update. And once that was completed, then I was going to purchase it. But we have stumbled across the Toddler twins. And if you have not tried the Toddler twins, I highly recommend it. You can find them on YouTube. We found their whole book series on Facebook Marketplace for a great deal. You can also find it on Amazon. I can link this in my Amazon storefront as well. And I let my daughter read it to kind of test out, and she loved it. I loved it. So we now have their American history. It's a 2-book series. So we use this a lot for our history. All right, all that to say that this is not everything that we use to homeschool. We use a lot of other manipulatives. We use certain things for math to make it more hands-on, whether it be tens blocks, dice, charts. I can't think of anything else, but we use a lot of stuff. When it comes to science, obviously everything that we can do hands-on, we do that. When it comes to language arts, we use flashcards. Every kid is so different, so you're gonna find what works for them. Some it might be flashcards, some it might be Play-Doh, and you're learning your letters or whatever phonics needs you might need. So there's a lot. It can either take a lot or it can take a little. It's all based off what your preference is. But I just wanted to share that we love the Good and Beautiful, and I highly recommend it for a curriculum. And it's nice because you can try it out on their website first before purchasing it, so check them out.